Hi everyone, I'm Lorraine from the Order of the White Lion with Qabalah for everyone. I'd like to introduce you today to the sphere of Netzach on the Tree of Life. Now Netzach is this emerald green area here, number 7. It's also known as victory, so we're talking about victory over our feelings. Now the whole aim of studying Qabalah and the Tree of Life is to improve our lives, is to find out what it is we're here to do, our soul function, and to lead a fulfilling and happier life. We start off at the base of the Tree of Life. So this is the base of the Tree of Life, Malkuth, also known as the Kingdom. Malkuth is about dealing with the mundane, nitty-gritty aspects of life. It represents the way that we behave in our everyday life. It represents how we manage our life, the sort of life that we've created for ourselves. It also relates to the physical body. The next part of the journey is this area here, number 9, known as the foundation. This area is called Yesod, and the foundation is the emotional foundation. So when we're looking at Yesod, we're looking at how we emotionally react and respond. And we're looking at how strong we are on that level, and also we're looking at the power of the subconscious mind and triggers, things that trigger us off, and memories as well, habit patterns, memories, things like that. The next area is number 8, the orange area, known as Hod or Splendor. That's the splendor of the workings of the human mind. But what I want to look at today is this area here, which is number 7, known as Victory, emerald green, Netzach. And in Netzach, we're looking at feelings, unconditional love, feelings, relationships. So we're looking at relationships that you enter into and the sort of relationship that you have with yourself. Now, when we're looking at Netzach, we're also looking at the universal law of perception. Now, each one of these areas has a cosmic law attached to it. And the law associated with Netzach is the law of perception. Our perception depends on how we feel about things. Qabalah also reminds us that everybody's perception is different. And it's not about rights or wrongs. It's not about saying, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. It's about recognising and understanding that everybody will have a different perspective on things. They'll look at things differently according to how they feel about it. Okay, so our feelings, how we feel about ourselves and others, our feelings influence how we think, our attitude, and attitudes that colour our life. How we think influences the way that we emotionally react and respond, which in turn affects the way that we behave in our everyday life, and the way that we manage our life, and the way that we manipulate the energy of the earth plane. So it all has a knock-on effect. So this is one of the things that I absolutely love about the Tree of Life, is that whenever I've got something going on in my life, I immediately relate it to the tree. So whatever it is, so if I've got something to do with relationships, then I've got a pretty good idea that I need to look at this area here. If I've got something to do with willpower, or something to do with the thoughts that are occupying my mind, the quality of my thinking, my attitude, then I know that I've got to look at this area here. If I'm looking at cycles that keep cropping up in my life, I keep finding the same old keeps coming up, and it's hitting me on an emotional level, then I know that I need to look at this area here. And as I say, and it all has a knock-on effect into the way that I operate as an individual on a day-to-day basis, in the way that I behave. So when we're dealing with Netzach, we're looking at our feelings, we're looking at the inner child, we're looking at how we viewed life through the eyes of a child, and as a child decisions were made on your behalf, by your parents, by teachers, etc., and other people in your life. So how did you feel about those decisions that were made on your behalf as a child? And also we're looking at the inner child and the need to play and have fun. When I was studying Qabalah, I'm constantly studying Qabalah. It's a lifelong thing. You don't ever come out of it, I don't think. I think once you get into Qabalah and the Tree of Life, I think you just find it so fascinating that it colours everything with your life, because you find answers and you find ways of being able to overcome challenges. And I mean, on a personal level, I found it really, really useful. But when I was studying it many years ago, Netzach completely floored me. I was not prepared for the depth of feeling that got brought to the surface, because Qabalah's got a wonderful way of bringing to our attention things that we need to address. And we all have stuff going on in our life. Netzach really, really threw me, because I was looking at things that I'd either forgotten about or I didn't particularly want to look at. As far as I was concerned, well, that was then, this is now. But the thing is that what happens to you as a child and your memories as a child, they influence how you operate within relationships and how you interact with others and how you feel about yourself in your adult life. So you can't detach it so easily, because what happened to you as a child and your memories of your childhood do impact your adult life and stay with you. So it's about recognising it so that you are able to change the way that you think about things, and in turn change the emotional habit patterns that you may have gotten into, and take control over the subconscious mind. So therefore it's not so potent, and you're not a slave, if you like, to subconscious triggers. As I say, and then in turn that you are more able of being able to manage your life and lead a happier and more fulfilling life. So you're not every time something hits you on the level of feelings, every time something happens to you, it doesn't completely throw you off balance. Talking of balance, as you progress with the tree, so once you've covered all the different sephirah, you then start to walk the paths, and the path that runs between Netzach and Hod is known as the Tower Path. And the Tower Path really, really brings to your attention cracks that may exist in your emotional foundation, things that you might be trying to smooth over, but actually there are cracks there in your emotional foundation. And the Tower Path is a wonderful way of really looking at your thoughts and feelings, looking at whether they may be an imbalance, and then going back and saying, okay, now I understand better why things may be happening to me, and you're better equipped to be able to handle things. And it's awareness, isn't it? Once you're aware of something, you can't undo awareness. So once you become aware of something, then you've got the choice of either standing still, or you've got the choice of doing something about it. In other words, taking action in your everyday life. And for those of you that have listened to other videos and vlogs that I've done, there are vices and virtues attached to all of these areas. The vice attached to Malkuth is inertia, and that means not doing anything, not taking action. The vice attached to Yesod is idleness, and that's not dealing with emotional issues. So I continue to find it fascinating, and I continue to use it in my everyday life when something crops up and I want some answers. And I remember the teachings, and I go back to basics, and I think, right, okay, something's hit me on a level of feelings. My feelings have been hurt. I'm hurting on that level. What's it all about? And then, again, you don't focus on what's been done to you. You focus on how it makes you feel and how it makes you emotionally react and respond. And if it generates an emotional reaction, then it's something that you need to deal with. So forget about who's done what to you or what situations hurt you or whatever. Always bring it back to yourself and say, okay, this is what's happening within me. How do I address that? Now, the inner child, as you progress with the tree of life and you get to understand yourself, the inner child and reconnecting with the inner child is recognising the need to play and have fun, and recognising that self-worth is important, that you need to value yourself and love yourself unconditionally, and that means warts and all. So it's not loving yourself in spite of whatever faults you may perceive that you have. It's loving yourself unconditionally, all of you, okay? and recognising that we all have creative potential, and as you move deeper into the tree, so that creative potential comes to the fore, and the magic that is you starts to emerge. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that insight into the realms of Netzach. It's known as the last stronghold of the personality. We need to get Netzach under our belt before we can move into the next area of the Tree of Life, which is the region of the soul in Tiferet. So if we haven't got the level of the personality harnessed, then the tree has a way of throwing us back down to the beginning and saying, right, you need to look at the basics again, off you go. As I say, and we all find ourselves back at the beginning, re-looking at the basics. What do I want? What do I need? Etc. Nothing wrong with that at all. It just means that each time we go back to the beginning, we're stronger, more aware, and better equipped to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and say, right, let's start again. Okay, well, that's enough for me for now. Thank you very much for listening. Stay tuned for more insights into the Tree of Life and Practical Qabalah. If you'd like to know more about the Qabalah and the Tree of Life, then get yourself over to the Order of the White Lion website, www.orderofthewhitelion.com. We have a whole range of workbooks geared for beginners, written in everyday, down-to-earth language. The whole focus is on helping you improve your life, helping you to understand who you are, what you're all about, how you operate as an individual, and what you may need to do to strengthen various areas in your life. Okay, so they've got wonderful meditations in which can help you through the process of getting to know yourself and reconnecting with the inner child. That's all for me. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.